Welcome to the wet and often wandering world of whales. Whales look a lot like fish, but do you know what they really are? They are warm-blooded, air-breathing mammals, marine mammals that are only at home in the water. Whales stay warm in the cold water because of their thick protective blubber, and they breathe deeply through nostrils located on the top of their heads called blowholes. And once underwater, they can hold their breath for very long periods of time. Some whales have teeth that they use to catch their prey and then swallow it whole. Others have small throats and must filter their tiny food through fringe-like plates of whalebone in their mouths called ballenes. Whales with teeth have one blowhole, while baleen whales usually have two. Some whales are huge, some are small, but whatever their size, whales are very intelligent and curious animals. And I'm about to escort you on a voyage through this whale of a subject. But first, please take out your educational coloring book of whales so you can follow along with your eyes as well as your ears. Okay? Now, open the book to page 2, and when it's time to turn the page, we'll cue you with this special sound. Are you ready to navigate the great oceans of the world? All right, let's cruise the North Atlantic. Boy, did you see that? Well, how could you help but see it? It's the great blue whale. And not only is it the largest living mammal in the world, it's the most gigantic animal of all time. Up to 100 feet in total length, some blue whales' mouths alone are 20 feet long. And when they clear their blowholes of seawater, the spout can be as high as 30 feet. Blue whales are found in both the northern and southern hemispheres and are known to migrate long distances. And though it only hunts the tiny plankton organisms called krill, the blue whale has been widely hunted by the whaling industry for the natural oil in its blubber. Because of this overhunting and the fact that baby calves are born only every 2 years, the blue whale is today an endangered species. Let's set an example for others by leaving this great whale alone. We're up in the cold Arctic seas now. Boy, it's pretty noisy. Did you hear that piercing whistle? That's the sound a narwhal makes as it breathes out air underwater. Plus, that deep roar is a mother narwhal calling for her little ones. Up to 15 feet in length, these slow-swimming whales weigh a ton and more after they grow up on loads of shellfish, squid, and fish. Narwhals spend their whole lives in the Arctic, and sometimes there's trouble. Herds of them have been trapped underwater at times when their breathing holes freeze over with ice. The most unusual narwhal feature is the lance-like hollow tusk that grows from the male's upper left jaw. Up to 9 feet long, these ivory tusks look like the horns of the mythical unicorn, and were once traded as such. However, the tusk is actually a living tooth, and no one is really sure what it's used for. Let's bear a little bit south now to the northwest Bering Sea. Now, here's a familiar sight to Americans all along the western coast of the United States. These are gray whales. And every winter, they migrate 5,000 miles from way up north down to the very warm waters of Baja California. Sometimes they travel alone, sometimes in small groups. But they're always easy to see because they love shallow water and stay close to the shoreline. Though the gray whale usually feeds on shellfish and small schools of fish, during migration, it sometimes looks like it eats seaweed called kelp. What happens is, the whale actually takes the kelp into its mouth with lots of water and washes off the microorganisms that live in its fronds. These organisms are then swallowed and the kelp is left unharmed. And here's another interesting fact. Some gray whales have been known to approach small boats and let themselves be touched and petted. Because of their inquisitive and trusting behavior, these gray whales have been nicknamed friendlies. This is the right whale, and it's well known for what it doesn't have: a main or dorsal fin. Right whale do have 2 blowholes though, and lots of long, delicate baleen plates. To feed themselves, right whales skim through the water open-mouthed and sift krill through their baleen. This filtering of plankton soup sounds like someone smacking their lips, and it's called the baleen rattle. Notice those strange bumps on this right whale's snout? They're called callosities and are filled with lice and barnacles that live off the whale's fleshy skin. What a life! Let's move on now to see the only white whale in the world. The beluga whale. This smart dolphin-like mammal has skin that actually grows white as it gets older, much like people's hair. It goes from brown to gray and finally to white. Belugas live in the cold Arctic and often gather in large herds to feed on schooling fish or other shallow water organisms. The vocal squeals or chirps these whales make while traveling among the ice floes have earned them the name sea canary. That's why seeing a beluga whale is always a real tweet. There she blows, the mighty sperm whale. Sperm whales became a household word after the printing of Herman Melville's story, Moby Dick, the tale of a great white sperm whale. These whales are big, up to 60 feet long, and their most noticeable feature is their huge squared forehead. Beneath their tiny hidden eyes is a thin lower jaw filled with massive teeth, perfect for hunting up their usual main course of giant squid. Only sperm whales and beaked whales venture down into the cold, dark bottom of the ocean, a mile or more below the surface of the sea. Once there, they echolocate their prey by making powerful clicking sounds in the water and waiting for the returning echoes to show them the way. Sperm whales have very large brains, but no one can really tell how smart they are. Who knows? Maybe we can learn something from them someday. If I were a sea animal, I would never mess with this tiger of a whale. This is the killer whale, appropriately named for its favorite hobby, hunting fish, squid, seals, sea elephants, penguins, dolphins, and even other large whales. These whales hunt in packs and live all over the waters of the world. Their striking jet black and snow white skin patches easily identify them and are slightly variable from one region to another. Killer whales are actually part of the dolphin family, though you'd never think of them as friendly flippers. Yet, despite their killer image, these whales have strong family units and are capable of gentle, even sensitive behavior. This big, slow-moving whale is quite peaceful and polite when approached by humans. It's called the humpback whale, and it's especially known for having extremely flexible flippers that reach 14 feet in length. In the winter, humpbacks migrate to warm waters for breeding. Once there, lone males will sing mating songs that reach many octaves and last as long as 20 minutes. Then, when the songs are repeated, they are slightly different variations of the original theme. That's what I call natural talent. If you play follow the leader with this whale, chances are it'll always be the pilot. These are short-finned pilot whales, and they migrate in schools of 20 to several hundred, holding their short flippers rigid while swimming. Their follow-the-leader approach to traveling usually works out well, but sometimes when their herd leader becomes sick, he will drive himself ashore, and the entire herd will follow him, stranding themselves on the beach. Good thing that pilot error doesn't happen very often. See that huge dark gray streak passing by? That's the sei whale, named for the sei fish it would often arrive with off the coast of Norway. Sei whales are said to be the fastest of all whales, reaching speeds of more than 24 miles per hour. Much faster than the slower-moving right whales. Sei whales use their speed to skim through the water for their suppers of krill, squid, and small fish. Sei whales often travel in small groups, yet feed in large herds of up to 50 where food is plentiful. Now, let's go see a whale that always has a toothy grin on its face. These are two-toothed beaked whales, also known as Cuvier's beaked whale. Rarely sighted, these whales travel in large groups and often dive together underwater for a half hour or longer, searching for squid and other deep-dwelling fish. And what about the two tooths? I mean 2 teeth on the bottom part of their two-toothed beaks? Boy, try to say that one. Well, only the male's 2 teeth really stand out all of the time, so look closely. Can you tell what these 2 whales must be? Oh, this water is cold. We're in the Arctic now, the main area where bowhead whales are found. Just glance at its mouth and you'll see how this whale got its name. Its enormous jaw is shaped upward, just like an archer's bow. Once widely hunted for their oil and large baleen plates, bowheads are an endangered species and are now protected from commercial killing by international law. Besides their low numbers, bowheads are also hard to study because of their harsh surroundings. Yet we do know that bowheads can break open ice that's a foot thick in order to breathe. The smaller beluga whales must know of this practical talent, for they often accompany bowheads as they journey through their icy world. These whales like to be close to each other most of the time and swim in schools of up to 30 or more. They're called Baird's beaked whales, and their cigar-shaped bodies are some of the largest of all the beaked whales. Baird's beaked whales make deep dives that sometimes reach depths of 3,300 feet and can last as long as an hour. Yet though these whales are usually friendly to each other, the scar marks often found on their bodies show that they do fight among themselves, most likely at breeding time. You see, even whales can have family squabbles. Let's go visit another species of whale known as the greyhound of the sea. Finback whales are some of the most cosmopolitan of all whales. What does that mean? Cosmopolitan means they're at home almost anywhere. And these finbacks are at home in every ocean of the world, even areas with large human populations. They're fast swimmers as well and work in pairs to round up schools of krill and small fish. Each finback then has available 350 baleen plates that average a yard in length for sifting its food. One of the finback's most unique features is its coloring. The right side of its lower jaw and baleen plates is white. The left side is dark. No one knows the true purpose of this two-tone effect, but it may be connected with the whale's feeding behavior. The last whale we're going to visit is best known for its round melon of a head. This is the northern bottle-nosed whale, and scientists believe its bulbous forehead is mainly used to echolocate its favorite deep-sea squid. These whales are easy to hunt because they are protective of each other and will stick together, especially when one is hurt. They are also inquisitive and are known to approach boats for a closer look. Northern bottlenose whales only migrate as far south as the Mediterranean Sea. Their southern twin, the southern bottlenose whale, only migrates as far north as the tropics. And except for very small differences, these whales appear to be identical. One popular theory is that they are from the same species and were divided into northern and southern populations during the last ice age. It makes a fascinating puzzle. Well, it's time to head back home again to dry land. I hope you've enjoyed our journey through the oceans of the world as much as I did. Now you'll have lots of time to go back to page 2 and begin to color all of the wonderful whales you've just heard about. If you need extra help figuring out what colors to use, just read the part on each page called Coloring. Every picture tells a story, doesn't it? There's a lot to remember, so be sure to listen to the tape again, too. And before I go, I'd like to tell you that you'll find many more educational coloring books where this one came from. Indians and space travel and sharks and dinosaurs and many, many others. I know you'll have fun and learn a lot from all of our educational coloring books and story cassettes. Goodbye.